What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Dead Noise. I'm Chris, and I am here at the Carolina Fear Fest in Raleigh, North Carolina, with the one and only Beatrice Boepple. How are you?
I'm great, and you pronounced my name right. You must have done your research.
I tried. I've heard so many people pronounce it differently. I was like, how is it pronounced? So I went with that.
Good for you. You're one of the few that have got it right on the first bet.
I appreciate that. Thank God.
As he looks at my claw, he's like, does the cross.
I'm terrified of what you can do with that. So this is 40 years of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I know you didn't come into the fold until the fifth movie, but you're still part of the franchise. I mean, you're Freddy Krueger's mom, for God's sake. So when you look back on the legacy of the film, the character, how much of it is surprising to you to see how long it's lasted and how devoted the fans are?
Oh, 100%. I'm completely blown away. I was not even aware that there were such things as conventions, until about 15 years ago, when they did Never Sleep Again. They found a lot of us. They found all the actors, and when I was at one of the conventions, the actress Toy Newkirk, from Elm Street 4, I guess, or 3. Anyway, she was there, and she looked at me and she said, how come I never see you at these cons? And I was like, cons? I had no idea what a con even was. But over the years, I've only really started to do them a lot in the past year and a half. And the response from the fans has just been phenomenal. And I've learned so much about Elm Street and its legacy and what it's meant to people from the fans. No, I had no clue. And certainly when we made it, we had no idea it would be lasting 35 years. Is Elm Street 5. This is our anniversary this year. And yeah, we're totally blown away because I had no idea it would last this long.
Well, speaking to that point about learning so much about the franchise through the fans, I know you wrote a book.
Yeah.
So when you were going through that process of doing the research and to prepare this story that you had, what was the most surprising thing about Freddy or his personality or his backstory that stuck out to you the most that you brought into the story?
Well, I guess the most surprising thing, the book is from Amanda's perspective, so it's the mom's version of the events. And I followed, all the films. It was the first time I watched all of them. Like, most of us actors will admit, we watch our own, right. And probably we've all seen the original one. And some people have watched them all many times. But I hadn't watched every single one, and certainly not, chronologically through the way I did for the book. And I had always, in my own mind, I had done the research in terms of developing my background story of what my relationship was with Freddy. When we filmed it, you could clearly see that he's scared of his mom and he clearly knows who she is, but we also know that she gave him up for adoption. So I had always wondered, well, how does he know her and what was their relationship? Why is he scared of her? What, if he was given away at adoption, what was the relationship? So as I started to do the book, a lot of background stuff came to me, mostly from the film. I followed the film, but I also filled in stuff clearly with my own imagination. I don't have Wes Craven around to let me know whether he agrees or if that was his intention, but stories came to me as to why there's the jump rope girls. Why do they always appear?
Yeah.
Why does he have that? Who made him that sweater? Well, I guess we can guess if I'm the mom, but and also a lot of curiosity I had about Alice Cooper's character,
Yeah.
The stepdad. Like in the movie, you see that he's beaten, and clearly that's a big part of what made Freddy who he is, but you can see that he's enjoying it and stuff. And this whole story came to me about their relationship and who that man was and why on earth would they have let a single drunk man adopt him? Like clearly they wouldn't have. So was there a wife and all that kind of stuff? And this this stuff came to me, and also Amanda's tragic background and what created the whole Krueger legacy, as we talk about it, the Krueger Curse. And when I wrote it came flooding to me. It was pretty easy to write. However, when I got ready to publish and put it out, it suddenly dawned on me, like, wait, holy crap, this is like this huge legacy. This is Freddy Krueger, the canon. who am I to, like, I mean, who am I? I'm his mom, so in a way, I'm the one who played his mom. Like, it is appropriate in one way, but it's not Wes Craven. It's not the creator. So what would he have thought of this? And more to the point, what would the fans think of this? Like, they know these things inside out. Like, you are the ones that watch every single film, and you're the ones that can identify these gloves and say, oh, that's from part 4 when he did this, or, and so I suddenly got really scared, and I started to think maybe I shouldn't put it out, but I did, and the response has been phenomenal. The fans have all, maybe that if people hate it, they just don't tell me, but, I've gotten really good responses from people, and, I think also too, the fans of Nightmare on Elm Street, the Fred heads and people are hungry for something more from Elm Street, something new, because so many of the other franchises are doing new remakes, and we've all been waiting for a good remake. We're all waiting for something more, and this feeds the fans something more to dive into.
To that point, where do you, as someone who was a part of the franchise and as Freddy's mom, is there a certain direction that you want to see the franchise go with a potential new movie or anything like that?
We all, somebody was asking me today earlier about, why do you think this is so long-lived, Elm Street? And, a lot of it is, there's a lot of things, but a huge part of it for sure is Robert Englund himself, and his portrayal of and the life he brought to this character, Freddy Krueger. And so there's a lot of people that are like, no one else can play Freddy, but, that's not quite fair either, because Robert, he's worked his butt off, and he kind of wants to retire. He's tired, and he may possibly, do a little cameo or do something to pass the torch, possibly, or he may not. But either way, we need to embrace the story, the Krueger story, which is such an intriguing one. The man that can come through your dreams and that he picks out your specific fears. And, there's a lot there's still a lot more room. I would love a remake or the next one. I think it would be great to have a prequel with his background, which would involve his mom.
Yep.
Although it'd have to be a younger actress now. Just the way Nan Martin, I was the younger actress because when he was giving birth, it had to be younger, and she was in her 60s at the time. But I could play the older Amanda. Hint, hint.
Wink.
Wink, wink. But yeah, it would be great to get more of his background. But also, it would be wonderful if they finished some of the stories. They started so many. We all love Jesse's story. There's a lot more to be told there. The Dream Warriors, people love that.
Yeah.
And then 5, there's a lot of great stories in that too. They started this whole thing with Jacob, and they started the whole thing with Amanda, being able to come back and, try to stop him and stuff. And there's so many, nuggets of great stories already in the ones that they've done that they don't need to invent something brand new, but maybe come back or pull all the characters together. Who knows? That would be really fun to get some of the characters together from the different Elm Streets and have them together somehow.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that, but that's a great idea.
Right?
You touched on this earlier. You're kind of new to the convention scene and talking with fans. I want to say you started 3 years ago, something to that. What has it been like getting to relive these experiences and hear other people's experiences with your work? And maybe with this weekend, how has it been for you so far?
It's such a gift and an honor, and with every convention I do, the more I talk to fans, the more interactions I have, the more respect I have for how amazing it is that I got to play Freddy Krueger's mom. I will be 100% honest. I took it for granted. It was a role that I did 35 years ago, and back at the time, I had this career. I had done a lot of other films and TV shows, and actually after doing Elm Street, I walked away from the whole industry for a lot of personal reasons. Nothing to do with acting, all to do with personal reasons, and I never really, when I moved on with my life and focused on my inner self, and I lived in India for 2 years, and I lived in Taiwan for a year, and I kind of, during that time, I didn't really think too much about this role. I didn't really think about my acting career at all. But doing these conventions, it's like, wow, it just dawns on me over and over that what an iconic character he is, and the fact that I'm his mom.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger is one of the most recognized icons of anything. Whether people hate horror films or not, if they've never seen Elm Street, they recognize who Freddy Krueger is, in every country. And then when I think about it, I'm like, wait, but I got to play his mom. Like, that's pretty wild. It is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah. So, though I certainly don't get the big lines he has. I mean, it's just so funny. We were at a convention together, and of course Robert's line is like 5,000 miles long, and I've got like crickets, but his line was the people had to pass me to get to his line. And I'm like, well, I am his mom. If you want to stop by and say hello.
Oh man. I'm also glad you mentioned Alice Cooper's character, because I'm a fan of his music, obviously, but I think people don't realize it was more than just a cameo. It was like he was his stepfather.
Right.
That's a huge deal.
Right.
Before I let you go, I have a speed round for you.
Uh-huh.
I got 5 questions.
Okay.
You can elaborate. You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
The first question, your favorite director that you've ever worked with?
I would say John Badham on Stakeout.
Your most embarrassing moment on set?
Oh my God, that would have been, aside from the bloody birth, no, I would say it was working with Johnny Depp. He gave me, on 21 Jump Street, he put a joke right in front of my face before one of my lines, and my line was supposed to be, I was an excited teen that, we're going to be on TV, but because the joke was like so guffaw, I was trying to hold it in, it came out as, we're going to be on TV! And that's the frickin' take that they used, so it's an embarrassment every time I see it, I mean, I've only watched it like once, but anyway, yes.
I'm sure your family doesn't let you live that down.
No.
Your favorite experience that you've had with a fan?
Oh, yes. My favorite experience would be with a fan named Lisa, who in Texas, in San Antonio, and we became Facebook friends. And she's a lovely lady, and one time when I was out doing a show in Texas, she came to my hotel and brought me homemade tacos, and it was so freaking delicious, and I needed it that day, and it was just lovely.
I want tacos now. I'm hungry. Your favorite thing to do outside of the film industry?
Well, I absolutely love horses, but I haven't worked with horses in a long, long time. My favorite thing, I guess, eating.
Me too.
Yeah, I love cooking and eating good food.
Oh, man. And the last question, always my favorite one. The role that you played or the film that you were a part of that means the most to you?
Probably playing Sheila in The Boys Next Door, which was a play that I did for theater in New York, and that character, a special needs character, just grabbed my heart. Although, I mean, no, you know what? But so does Amanda, but that's grown. Like, the role of Amanda didn't grab me as deeply. Like, I loved playing her when I played her, but then I moved away from it. But it has actually, like, really, really grown on me. Like, there's a part, some of my castmates say you're too involved. Like, they think I'm too Amanda obsessed, but maybe it is Amanda, because she's just grown into my heart.
Well, us horror fans appreciate that, and we appreciate the time that you put, number one, into making the movie, but also celebrating the legacy of the character in the franchise. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Aw, thank you.
And thank you so much for the time. I would shake your hand, but I'm kind of terrified of that glove. Let's see if it works. Hey.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much again.
Alrighty.
And until the next interview, stay tuned, stay scared, and I'll catch you later.